the word muscle car, the iconic Ford Mustang should be the first one to come to mind. With a wide selection of roof variants and every single engine configuration that you can think of, it's no more apparent that the galloping steed is, indeed, very popular. Since 1980, sales have topped 5 million units, making it the most popular sports car ever sold to date.
What's going on, guys? A Reviews, we're back with another review. Hot off the K5, we scored on this beautiful silver 2020 Ford Mustang. Now this is not just your average Mustang, it is the EcoBoost, but it's not just an EcoBoost, it's an EcoBoost performance package, which is brand new for 2020, specifically with the engine derived from the Focus RS. That's pretty cool. But today we're going to take a look and we're going to see if it's actually a really good Mustang and if it's really worth buying, because it's the most popular muscle car, sports car as I should say, currently for sale. But I first want to give a very big shout out to TriStar Ford in Blairsville, Pennsylvania for allowing me to come out and review this Mustang. You guys can contact Danny Wintersteen down on the bottom below, and you can also find the information for the dealership as well. Alrighty, so let's start off with the trim levels. You got so many different configurations for the Mustang. You both have fastback, convertible, and Shelby variants. Let's start off with the fastback variants. There's the EcoBoost, which also comes in a convertible. The EcoBoost Premium, which is the same thing, fastback and convertible. You got the GT, that only comes in coupe or fastback only. The GT Premium, which comes in fastback and convertible. Now you're going to jump up into the Bullet, which is fastback only. Then you've got the Shelby GT 350, then the Shelby GT 500, which is new for 2020. And then you've also got the Shelby GT 350R, which is the more racier variant of the GT 350. Now base prices can actually start from about $26,000, and you can even work your whole way up well into the six-figure mark. Yes, you heard that right, $100,000 for a Mustang. But today, we're taking a look at this 2020 Ford Mustang EcoBoost Performance Package. So starting off with the front end of the Mustang, you can see it's very obviously looking like a Mustang. I love how they kept the retro vibe while still making it really aggressive and modern and sporty and really menacing. Starting off with your headlights, you have full LED headlights standard on all trim levels. I believe that these Shelby variants have HIDs because they're based on the pre-refresh. This is the refreshed version. You have 3 separate modules for the daytime running lights, which also mirrors what's in the back. You've also got an LED turn signal down here. You can also get fog lights for this. This one's not equipped with it. But overall, you've got this special grille here for the EcoBoost Performance Package. You've got tons of different grille options that depend on your trim levels. A lot of them have the Mustang logo right here in the middle. This one's also painted gloss black because of that performance package. And with that performance package, you also get this more aggressive splitter here and all that sorts of stuff. Now for the recent refresh of the Mustang, Ford actually lowered the hood just slightly, about 0.8 of an inch, to make it have better visibility. But there's one major complaint I have, and this is a stick of truth. This vent right here doesn't go nowhere. It's fake. I'm not sure if the other ones have fake vents. I know that the Shelbys actually have functional vents, but this one isn't. And you can see that a large portion of this opening is closed off. But really, there's no other differentiation between the EcoBoost Performance Package and the standard Mustang variants, except for these hood stripes here that actually really look nice. But coming up to the hood, you have 2 air vents, and these are actually functional. Other variants do not have these functional. But overall, looking at the front end of the Mustang, it's definitely a very stout-looking car. It looks menacing, it looks very aggressive, and definitely, it's very iconic. Now coming to the side of the Mustang, I'm gonna step out of the way here for you guys to see it. This thing does compete with the well-known the Chevrolet Camaro and Dodge Challenger, which is in very bad need of a redesign. And length is 188.5 inches on a 107.1 inch wheelbase. Your track width is 62.4 inches up front and 65.1 inches in the rear, respectively. It's also 75.5 inches wide, and it's also 54 inches high. Now, as far as the EcoBoost Performance Package, there's one big way to tell that this is the EcoBoost Performance Package with this badge here that says High Performance 2.3 liter. Now, the EcoBoost Performance Package here comes with its own specific set of wheels, but this one also has the optional handling package for $2,000, and this gives you this gray tarnished wheel here, riding on 265s all around. I do like these tires, and they're also Pirelli P0 Corsas, so they are a really grippy tire. But as you can see, this thing is obviously a coupe. It's got a very sloped roof line, a very long hood in typical Mustang fashion. Now, as far as your brakes, hiding behind these 19-inch rims is a 14-inch 4-piston disc brake up front and a 13.0 out back with a single-piston disc brake. So this thing's got some definite lead to stopping. Coming up to your mirrors, this one has a specialized darker gray paint to it. It does not have power folding. They're kind of small, but that's kind of the overall theme of this car in a way. There's no integrated turn signal lights. I think that those might come on the higher trims, but I'm not 100% sure. As far as the fuel door, it's manual opening and easy fuel capless fuel filler. I love that Ford's doing this. It's definitely a feature that I would love to see on all cars. But yes, the Mustang is very, very sleek on the side. But let's go out back and show you even more features out back. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm definitely wearing a Mustang shirt because I do love Mustangs. But out back is the same exact retro styling that you see up front with these full LED taillights here that are standard on all models with sequential turn signals. Now you have this Mustang plaque here as well. If you get the GT variant, it turns into a GT. If you get the Shelby variants, you have a Shelby sticker on the back here. Now this EcoBoost Performance Package adds this dark gray finished raised deck lid spoiler. It looks very nice. It's kind of discreet, but it does stand out. You got well integrated rear parking sensors, and with the EcoBoost Performance Package, you've got this active valve exhaust that comes straight from the GT. And guys, this thing sounds awesome. And coming down to the bottom here, you got this very aggressive diffuser with a incandescent brake backup light right there. Your camera is nicely integrated in the trunk. You can do it from the key fob. There's also a button in the interior, or you just go right under here, right under the Mustang badge, and you just pop it. Now, of course, it's going to be a weird shape because of the taillights. But in here, you have 13.5 cubic foot of storage. That's actually class best compared to the Challenger and the Camaro. But there's a major complaint I have. Yes, there is an optional spare tire, but this one has the tire mobility kit, a fix-a-flat kit. I definitely am not a fan of that. You've also got 60/40 split folding rear seats, which is kind of odd because it's a 4-seat layout only. But the convertible variants do lose cargo space. I think it goes down to about 8 or 9 cubic foot. Anyway, closing the trunk lid. I mean, out back, it is obviously a Mustang. It is very timeless, very nice. Now let's go ahead and jump on the inside because that's where the Mustang really has leaps and bounds, while also still remaining very retro and very modern. So I will apologize for the camera shakiness. I am testing out my new OnePlus 8 that I just recently got. But to get inside the Mustang, here's the key fob. It's the same exact Ford key fob you find on literally everything, including, I think, the Fiesta. It's probably got a much cheaper key, but you got metallic looking plastic buttons here and a zip tie that likes to get in the way. But you also have remote start. So all you got to do is tap the lock button, then push the remote start button twice, and it will automatically start up. And to turn it off, you just press the button. You also have a trunk release here and the panic alarm, and obviously all Ford's panic alarms are super freaking loud. But this also has keyless entry, So all you have to do is keep the key fob in your pocket or your purse, or keep it with you on the vehicle. Your lock is right there against this ribbed portion. Ford does a sensor behind the door, and as you can see, because it's a coupe, it will automatically lower the windows to prevent damage. Now in this EcoBoost base model here, this is not the premium like I said, you can see that it's got a very cool looking interior. But stepping inside, you can very obviously tell that this is real low. And now shutting the door, it sounds a bit rattly. It doesn't sound as solid as some other cars here, but we're gonna go ahead and put my foot on the brake, and you can see that the engine start stop button here illuminates, and you just push the button to fire up the engine. So let's first go over interior materials. Up here, it is soft touch up here. It's leather padded. I did not expect that. It's even padded up there with the high performance 2.3 liter badge right there. Coming over to your door panels, it's hard touch right here. I was kind of expecting that, but I was thinking Ford should have done something nicer. You got the cloth insert here with some either vinyl or leatherette material. You have some aluminum looking plastic here. Windows are one touch automatic for all windows. There's also the remote global remote open that I tried testing out but didn't work. Your mirror controls are right there. There's some decent storage down here in this cubby. Now coming up to your steering wheel, it's a 3-spoke design with a little kind of portion in here. It's very well weighted. It's a little bit too weighted for my taste, but it is what it is. You got your volume control, your multimedia controls here, your cruise control. This will control the little 4.2 inch cluster display in here. We will go over that in a second. You've also got some more media controls here. But coming over to the center here, you have your oil pressure gauge and your turbo boost pressure, your vents here. And this kind of trim here kind of looks to be like aluminum. It's obviously plastic, but it's got some kind of, I don't know what you want to call it to it, but it definitely looks nice. Although coming down here, you got your 8-inch Sync 3 infotainment system. You've seen the review on it before. I will link a few of them up there in the cards. This also comes with just a base 6-speaker stereo system, and I'm gonna say Ford's got the best stock stereo systems in the entire automotive industry. They've got lots of bass, they got pretty good clarity. Overall, I'd give it a solid 3.5 out of 10. Coming back over here, you can see that there is analog gauges for your fuel level, your speedometer, which they call it ground speed, which is pretty cool. You got your revolutions per minute there, your tachometer, which is kind of weirdly named, as well as your engine temp. In here, you got your, like I said, the main cluster. You can see your digital speedometer, tire pressure, your gauge details, which goes really in depth. You got your distance to empty. Go over here to trip and fuel. You can see your informations, your fuel economy, fuel history, and such. You got your track apps here that you can actually see your system status, your accelerometer, acceleration timer. You got to see your G's there. You got your braking performance. You have line lock on this, which is pretty cool. You got a lap timer and such. Driver assist, auto engine off, and rear parking aid. Settings, you got your exhaust mode. So like I said, there's 4 different modes. There's quiet, normal, sport, and track. Let's go into quiet. Now let's go into normal. Sport. Gets a little bit louder, and then track. Now I don't notice a difference between sport and track, but you can really notice the difference between quiet and track. So here's quiet, and here's track. And it always beeps at you saying it's only for track use. You also got a quiet start that you can also schedule, which is cool.
You got your vehicle settings like your intelligent access, lighting, locks, oil life reset, remote start here. You set the duration tire mobility kit, your windows, which there's that remote open feature, your wipers, and you got your My Key settings, your display setup, and such. But let's come back here to the center here. As you can see, there's your climate controls. You also have a dedicated sound button here. Here on this one, you get factory embedded navigation. It's pretty responsive. It's a little bit laggy, just a tiny bit. You got pinch to zoom. You don't have the tilt to rotate setting. You also got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard. It's wired, which is nice. Now coming down here, you have dual zone climate control. I love that how these temperature toggles are. You click up to increase temperature and down to decrease. This would be where your heated and ventilated seats would come. That's only available on some of the higher trims. I think the premium variants get it, but I definitely do not like that this thing is, the switches are blank. You got your engine start stop button down here. You got your toggles here for your hazards, your traction control switch, which if you hold it down, it should turn off the stability control. It does not. You also have 3 steering modes. I currently have it in comfort. There's also normal and sport, which sport is way too stiff for me. You've got different modes here as well. You got normal mode, you got sport plus, track, drag strip, which turns traction off. And then you got snow and wet mode, so it'll all change the mapping and stuff for better grip. Here you got a 10-speed automatic transmission. You got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport mode. Putting it in reverse, you can see the camera's got trajectory, which seems to not be working right now. It did have trajectory, that's one thing. It's also got the rear park aid, which is nice, but the camera quality, my oh my, Ford, it's terrible. It's really bad. Putting it back into park here, you also can get a 6-speed manual with this, which is nice. This is the optional 10-speed, and it's still pretty great. You got a little storage cubby down here. It's a little bit small, but there you can see the data transfer port, USB. You guys are gonna like this. You got a Rip-It style handbrake, which is cool. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go to an electronic parking brake. You also got cup holders here that fit my my big ass monster here. You also got a padded center armrest here, which feels pretty nice. I mean, it's probably just vinyl with some stitching. But what's nice is that when you open it up, it actually opens up on both sides. There's a little toggle. You got another USB port in here, and I honestly thought this was like some kind of extra turnkey thing. But if you pull it out, it's a 12-volt port here. And it's actually a pretty decent sized cubby. I mean, it's not too big, but it's not super small. You also got a pen holder in there. Coming back over here, you just push that button to open the glove box. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but it's not too bad, which is nice. Coming back up to the steering wheel, you got paddle shifters for the 10-speed auto, which is cool. Your headlight control is right over here. You also got your dimmer here. There's no fog lights on this one. Your trunk release is right there. You have a manual tilt telescopic steering column. It's got a pretty decent range of motion. It's not too groundbreaking, but it is kind of nice. This is also a leather wrapped steering wheel. It's got some small 10-2 notches. It's got a very good 9-3 grip, or 9-3 grip, and it also feels very, very nice. Coming to your seats, you have 6-way power adjusting seats, forward, backward, up, down, seat bottom. You also got up and down here. You got 2-way lumbar control, which is nice, but the recline is actually manual. I can see why Ford did it because of the back seats, but that's nice. You also have the same range of motion, I believe. You do not actually. You only have 4-way power adjustable seats here, no lumbar. You can't
adjust the seat front up and down. You can only adjust the height up and down as well as forward and backward. And it's also got the same dual recline seats. You also have Ford's really odd ratcheting headrest, which is kind of odd. There's your rear view mirror. The rear visibility is actually not too bad. I was actually pleasantly surprised. Up here, you have incandescent lights. Come on, Ford. You put it on the Escape. Why didn't you put it on the Mustang? Now, as far as the mirrors are concerned, again, you got halogen lights here. But let's see if it passes the visor test. I am not looking forward to this. 3, 2, 1. And it passes. But we got to do it on the passenger side. 1, 2, 3. It passes. Now, because of the windows, they are so big, it's still going to be a pass. Now, as far as your headliner, it's just a basic cloth, and so are these seats. But I find it cool that the Mustang logo is kind of embroidered into here, and some tire tracks are kind of scattered through the seats. I find that really nice. You also have some contrast stitching there, which is cool. Even over here, it's soft touch. I was not expecting that, but some of the plastic in here kind of feels cheap. It's typical Ford cheapening out and stuff. But overall, the front of this Mustang is absolutely amazing. And I definitely do love that little quirk right there with the high performance badge telling you your chassis number. This one specifically is L1297. So that's very, very nice. Now, it's time to punish myself. Let's get into the back. Getting into the back of the Mustang is actually kind of a chore. You first have to pull on this lever here to tilt the seat back forward, and then you have to use the power adjustment here to allow you to have enough room to get in. Now, getting in, once you do that, it's got a decent space, but the sloping roof line definitely hinders a lot of things. Now, in order to get the seat back, you got to pull on this lever, and it's not going to do anything. So you're going to have to actually pull on this lever here and tilt the seat back. Now, obviously, with me being 6'2", I am not going to have enough room. My head is craning to the side. I have this adjusted to where I had it, and I've still got some leg room. But for sure, this thing is not for adults, children at the most. Also, the Mustang can only seat 4. They cannot seat 5 in here, which is kind of expected. You got your little latch anchors hidden down here. They're pretty deep in the seat. But these seats are really, like, contoured. They are bucket. Like, they are incredible. And as you can see, there is absolutely no room for a 5th person back here. Now, if I had this seat, the passenger seat, the whole way back, there would be absolutely zero room. Even for an amputee with both legs gone, they wouldn't fit back here because it's that tight. If you guys want a bigger back seat and you guys carry families a lot more, you guys want to go check out the Dodge Challenger. I haven't reviewed one yet, but I'm going to try and review one here soon. And the Mustang is actually no worse than the Camaro. The Camaro is actually worse. So, yeah, but back here, you got everything hard touch. I will say that when I was first doing everything with this car, with the Mustang, when I was doing my pre-review runs or pre-review tests, the seatbelt here is way too far back. I actually had to turn myself around to reach the seatbelt, and I got really long arms, as you can see. And I kind of found that very annoying. So I wish Ford would do like a little delivery seatbelt thing. But in order to get out, all you have to do is pull this latch and seat back tilts forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And also to release the 60/40 seats, you just pull this little lever here located on the side. They almost fold completely flat, but there's a big bump here, which I kind of find odd. Actually, there is 8 speakers back here because I saw 2 in the trunk there, and there's 3 of them on each side of the doors here. So sorry about that. But yes, these are cloth seats. Leather seats can come on higher trims. But now that we are done here in the interior, let's get out and let's actually go in depth with the performance specs of the 2020 Mustang EcoBoost Performance Package. Guys, so opening the hood of the Mustang. Now, like I said, this is the Performance Package. So it's gonna have a different EcoBoost engine than the 2.3 that's already in it. And this hood is heavy as shit. And it's got a prop rod. Where's the hydraulic hood struts, Ford? Now you have a multitude of engine options on the Mustang. You can start off with the base 2.3 liter EcoBoost that makes 310 horsepower and 350 pound-foot of torque. Then you've got this motor here, which we will go to in a second. Then you've also got the very characteristic 5 liter Coyote V8 that makes 460 horsepower, which is class best as of right now, without reaching into the 6 liters. Then you've also got the 5.2 liter Voodoo flat plane crank V8 that's both standard on the Shelby and the Shelby GT350R. That makes 527 horsepower and 426 pound-foot of torque. Revs all the way up to 8,500 RPM. Then you've also got the brand new Shelby GT500 with 760 horsepower from a supercharged 5.2 liter cross-plane V8. But this is the engine we are going to talk about today. This is a high-performance 2.3 liter turbocharged EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder derived from the Focus RS. This thing has 332 horsepower and 350 pound-foot of torque between 3,000 and 4,500 RPMs. Now, I didn't find a compression ratio for this thing, but like I said, it's available in a 6-speed automatic or 6-speed manual and a 10-speed automatic, which this one is equipped with. And fuel economy is rated to be 20 city, 28 highway. It doesn't require premium gas as far as I know. Curb weight is actually kind of heavy. It's 4,150 pounds. Now take the EcoBoost Performance Package out for a spin. And also, I got a major complaint. This hood strut kind of goes in a weird way. Yeah. Let's go and take the Mustang for a spin. Oh, that sound though. Let's go over the options quick here that's equipped on this car. You got the Equipment Group 101A, which is actually a $2,000 option, which grants you Sirius XM radio and dual zone climate control. That's kind of a ripoff for 2,000 bucks. You've got the EcoBoost Performance Package, which is about $5,000. You get the 2.3 liter high performance EcoBoost, 265/40 R19 Y-rated summer tires, the Pirelli P0 Corsas. You've got the active valve exhaust and the raised blade deck lid spoiler. This one also has the handling package for $19.95. That gets you the 19-inch by 9.5-inch premium painted wheel, the MagnaRide damping system, I'm excited to test that out, and a 355 torsion rear axle. You also got the 10-speed automatic, which is a $1,595 option, and the voice-activated touchscreen system that is $895. Now, as far as your safety is concerned, Ford makes the Ford Safe and Smart package available as an option for the Mustang. It's on all trim levels. I don't know why they make it standard because, I mean, a lot of cars now make it standard. But with that, it's a $1,000 option, which I highly recommend getting. You get the pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking, no pedestrian detection, auto high beam headlamps, lane keeping alert, no lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, rain sensing wipers, and that's pretty much it. And for the current one, you get integrated blind spot mirrors, which is very nice, but again, them mirrors are pretty small, but it's a very nice way to see those gorgeous hips of the Mustang. Let's go ahead and take this out for a spin. Like I said, a big complaint, the frickin' seatbelt thing. Now, as far as sitting at idle, it's not too loud, but it's also not too quiet, which I do like, but that's because this thing is in normal mode. Let's go ahead and put the exhaust mode back into quiet. Let's go ahead and let's drive the Mustang. So overall visibility is not the greatest, but it's better than I expect. It's not bad. Okay, the freaking Magna Ride, it rides pretty good. I'm gonna say for a Mustang, this thing rides pretty nice with the Magna Ride. Okay, one thing to note, the throttle is touchy, very touchy. And so is the brake in typical Ford fashion. As you can see, I am trying to get this thing to be very smooth on the gas pedal, and you saw me jerk there. It is not exactly the best to ease and modulate. Now, I'm not gonna do an acceleration test just yet because I wanna get these tires warmed up because they are a summer tire. I'm gonna open the exhaust up into track mode. And it sounds really good. What the heck? There was a convertible Hellcat. Did you guys see that? But just driving around here at about 10 miles an hour, the Mustang's not doing so bad, I'm gonna say. As far as riding is concerned and the suspension, it's pretty quiet. It's a little bit loud. You hear a lot of tire noise, that's for sure. But we're gonna go over here and we're gonna hit some more rougher section here. And the Mustang's actually surprisingly soaking it up pretty good. I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, the ride is a bit stiff. I'm gonna tell you that right now, but obviously it's a sports car. You're not gonna have a super soft suspension, and it's not gonna float like a Hyundai Palisade like I just tried to review and couldn't post about it. So yeah, and there's a nice nightfall. Oh, I hit that pothole. That was rough. That was rough. So yeah, this thing definitely rides rough. It's not as rough riding as the Durango RT I reviewed though. The Durango RT was, oh my God, it was terrible. This thing, I've had some stiffer riding cars that I've reviewed. The Stinger was just a tad bit more sprung than this. Put this thing into sport mode, and I'm just gonna floor it. This thing is fast as shit, holy Mary. This thing's got some lead to it. And that 10-speed's really good too. It's very responsive to the floor or pedal, and it's definitely nice, and it definitely made me throw my phone. And this thing sounds so good. It sounds awesome. Now I'm gonna try to use the paddle shifters too. Paddle shifters are pretty responsive though. It's a little bit slow to downshift. Now it does have a lurch in from the first to second gear, so I'm kind of surprised about that, but I'm gonna try this again with the paddle shifters here. Okay, I can tell you, there's a lot of torque available down low. This is a very torquey engine. I'm surprised that Ford did not decide to tune this thing to have 350 horsepower, because there's quite a bit of a jump between the base EcoBoost, this engine, and the GT, because it goes from 332 with this EcoBoost performance package up to 460. You can even go up to, I believe, 470 or 480 for the Bullet variant. Now I'm going to put the steering from comfort mode into normal mode, and okay, the steering is a bit numb. It's a little bit, it has good feedback, but it doesn't have a lot of communication. It's quite lazy. I would have expected a more communicative steering wheel. It picks up real quick, but once you let off, it kind of feels like it's still accelerating. You know, it's not like abrupt when you get off the throttle. I like that. It's not like my Tucson where you can really feel that it's, you know, getting off the throttle. Man, this thing's just got so much torque. This thing feels good. It's very smooth. So guys, let's talk about the review score.